We were all taken by surprise last month when the night sky illuminated blood red, the result of another plan to save Fortnite's island time and time again, but Season 2 destroyed those expectations. What unleashed from this rift wasn't a hero to save the day, but 5 new factions ripped from their homeworlds, and they bring us closer than ever to solving Fortnite's storyline. Mega City is the home to multiple gangs obsessed with power. While they all play an important role, the most dominant is the Peace Syndicate, who are hiding some big secrets. Evie is their secret weapon. Allegedly, she is here to help the island rebuild, but the Syndicate rarely acts altruistically, and keep in mind, this was said in Chapter 3. The Syndicate has one goal of establishing peace wherever they go. While it feels like a coincidence that they appeared on our island, this was no more than one step of their plan. Before the Rift Gate was activated, Evie was in contact with a mysterious figure known only as X, and they began working on a plan which involved using the Zero Point to bring peace to their homeworld. It activated sooner than expected, which ruined everything, and Evie was forced to make a decision. Following his orders, Evie tampered with the Rift Gate, changing the coordinates to Mega City, but what she didn't plan was the instability of the portal. It brought more realities to the island than she ever anticipated. Let me tell you, actions meet consequences because this has ignited a full-blown war. The protector of Mega City is Thunder, a lieutenant and sushi chef. I mean, you aren't this skilled with knives just by cutting fish, okay? This attitude is the catalyst for what's about to happen. An inter-syndicate battle that involves double agents, coded messages, and a live event that'll destroy things as quickly as they arrived. But not without the help of the Fox Clan.
Drift? Come in. Do you read me? The Fox Clan is in trouble. We need you. Whoever gave you that Fox Clan mask made you a target. Something is tracking us down now. Something old, something bad. They got everyone. I barely escaped. If we don't work together, team up, they'll come for you next.
From this moment, we're introduced to the Reborn Fox Clan, a group of special powers that allow them to rift between realities, something that is extremely valuable but dangerous in the wrong hands. Someone or something is trying to harness their abilities, and they're slaughtering anyone in their way. It's why members of the Fox Clan started randomly appearing last season, mentioning how they can't be here and need to go back. Some of them were alone, crying, and refusing to rift back to the world. Clearly something terrible happened. The Rift Gate must have saved them, as it latched onto the Fox Clan's home and brought it to Reality Zero. Now, they are face to face with their most historic enemy, the Peace Syndicate. As Stray points out, sometimes justice and peace mean different things. Now, you should pay attention because he's becoming the most important character of Chapter 4. Adrift but never lost. Despite being far from his family, he belongs as a drift. So why is his family so important? Well, it all ties to our next group, the River Guard. If war breaks out, Stray must face his sister and their leader, Mizuki. Mizuki and the River Guards believe they are one with the water, and have been direct rivals with the Fox Clan for thousands of years. If a war breaks out between the Peace Syndicate and Fox Clan, Mizuki will have a tough decision to make. She dares Thunder to try and impose peace on the Tide, threatening him that it won't end well, while also telling Drift, if any harm comes to Stray under your care, you will feel the storm's wrath. They're a neutral player in the war right now, but not the most important because, while a devastating fight is about to break out, it could all be for nothing. Behind the shadows, this tension, these threats, everything is a lie, and it's all being manufactured by one person. Lurking near the Peace Syndicate's terminals is a creature known as Triarch Nox. If you approach it, he emerges from the darkness saying, "I'd advise staying away from that terminal." Quests have revealed the Saboteur is working with Triarch Nox, and he doesn't want their identity to be uncovered. Right now, nobody knows about the existence of this creature, but his intentions have already been revealed by simply looking at his name. Triarch is a word that means 3 rulers, and Nox is Latin, translating directly to darkness. Yep, the 3 rulers of darkness ties him directly to a villain we thought was defeated, the Last Reality. Working with a mole from the Peace Syndicate, he says things like, "You may conquer the light, I will take the dark places in between. And if chaos is the game, we must play to win." His ultimate goal is to undermine the stability of the island by making everyone wage war against each other. If they are so distracted by fighting, he could steal power from right under them and revive the efforts of the Last Reality. This newfound revelation that they have 3 rulers is a bombshell. For years they followed a reoccurring pattern that we never realized until now. Let war break out, then catch everyone with a surprise attack. The same thing happened when the Cube Queen first invaded, after the island was already in ruin from Ghost and Shadow. Then when the Imagined Order and the Seven finally went to war, the Herald was there to pick off the survivors. Now we have inter-syndicate fighting, and Triarch Nox is prepared to strike for the 3rd time, which explains the name. All of this is happening, there's one thing he hasn't accounted for, the Oathbound, and even though they may seem like a medieval kingdom, this was Geno's first version of the Imagined Order. Since then, the Oathbound have been left to their own devices, not realizing the chaos that Geno would unleash upon the world. The Seven destroyed everything that was left of the IO, including Geno, but they underestimated his ability to rebuild himself, branding the name of a shapeless man. After whispering evil thoughts into the mind of Stellan, he hoped the Riftgate would be phase 1 of his return, but that was a colossal failure. We haven't heard much from the Oathbound since the gate was destroyed, but it's not the last we'll see of them. When Geno does come back, he'll have to face off against the last reality, the Seven, and maybe even himself. The Seven are still victims of the Nothing after being consumed by Chrome in Chapter 3. Scientist robot assistant Amy was able to track them down using the Riftgate, but made a horrifying discovery.
He's different now. They're all different now. As we speak, they changed its scope, his existence anew. A fate darker than the worst imaginable.
We learned last season that she built the body for herself to rush and save them, but we haven't heard anything since. Now the Riftgate has been destroyed, there's no way back for Amy, and the last reality are on the island. Because of this, the outcome of this war will be more important than they could ever imagine, having consequences for the Seven's return and the destruction of reality itself. There is so much at stake, and now that you know who's playing the game, we come to our final character who is arguably the most important of Season 2. Everyone's trying to figure out who's working with the last reality to undermine the Peace Syndicate and wage war with Fox Clan, the name that Triarch Nox was desperate to protect. Well, this ultimate agent of chaos has been hiding in plain sight, and her name is Highwire. She doesn't seem to fit into one single clan, but then I realized she suspiciously fits into all of them. This edit style shows Highwire wearing a wolf mask, and wolves are famously good at hunting foxes. If you remember Triarch Nox's dialogue from earlier, he says, "If chaos is the game, we must play to win." But what I didn't tell you is that he says this to Highwire, and according to her description, she always wins. There's also another storyline happening around the island, and it has to do with mysterious monoliths planted into the ground. These are indestructible and have gone unexplained for weeks, making them Fortnite's biggest unsolved mystery. We don't know who's behind these monoliths, whether it's the River Guard, a mysterious location brought by the Rift, or maybe it has something to do with the cult that was seen all those years ago. There are other suspects, such as Renzo the Destroyer, and the clues in his set could reveal the live event. He has a Nemesis box and various designs that have a similar vibe to the monoliths, especially the blue gemstones. His set is known as Cataclysm 2.0, and as we've seen in the past, Fortnite loves to tease the future of the storyline through cosmetics. A cataclysm is a seismic event in the natural world, or it also means a sudden, violent political upheaval, like the one we're seeing on the island right now. Considering it's 2.0, they're probably referring to a second version of the IO vs. 7, or just maybe, it's the second coming of the volcano that destroyed Tilted and forced them to rebuild. Only time will tell if Mega City will follow the same fate, but let me know what you think. It's been Tommy, and keep it here on Top 5 Gaming. I really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this video. If you want to support us, please consider using code T5G.